Hello, everybody, and welcome along to this very special edition of ARW Weekly. Tonight, we've decided to bring on a couple of lads who, I think it's fair to say, are firmly against the ownership of Liverpool Football Club by FSG. Now, this is a very divisive topic, so I want to make it clear that this will be a frank and honest conversation between four lads with varying opinions on the owners. Our guests this week are Sean and Stefan, aka Fenway We Come Not to Pay, and Select the Skills. Well, joining me from our regular group, I've got Gavin and Matt. Just to make it nice and easy for our listeners, guys, I'm going to go around you one by one and let you guys give me a brief synopsis of where you are in regards to this debate. Sean, I'll come to you first, mate. So just a couple of lines on where you stand to start.
I'm fed up. I'm absolutely fed up. We've had, nearly 7 years of this, and it's just an absolute comedy of errors. It's a joke. This football club has lost. It's lost its way. We're not competing. We're more interested in the profit table. We're more interested in commercial deals and sponsorship deals. We're more interested in what we do or how much money we make off selling players as opposed to buying players.
So we're just going to go quickly around. So just briefly, you're anti the owners at this stage then. Just a couple of quick lines for each person so we can get around. Gav, where do you stand on this debate, mate?
I'm quite neutral in the debate, to be perfectly honest. I'm not going to come on here and tell people that they're the best owners in the world, because I don't know how you justify how you are the best owners in the world. But they've done some good things, they've done some not so good things, they've made some mistakes, they've rectified some mistakes. But no, I'm fairly neutral on what FSG are and what they're trying to do. Overall, I'd say more or less neutral on FSG.
Thank you very much. Stefan, can you give us a brief synopsis of your stance?
I'm at the moment FSG out because of there's no winning mentality from them. They're not desperate to win. Also, when it comes to transfers, we're not ruthless enough. And to be honest with you, I feel like we are a massive club, the top 2 in England, and we're probably like top 10 in the world. And I feel we need to start acting like it. And it starts from the owners for me.
Thank you very much. And finally, Matt, can you give us your synopsis of where you stand?
I'm not too far from Gav, centre left. I like a lot of things they do. They also fuck up as well, and I think I'm quite rational where I can split it and say business side of things and other areas which they are doing well, main stand. But then I know on the pitch they need to do a lot better. But I still think their heart is in the right place, and they are trying to do it. They've just made mistakes.
Thank you very much. Right, so for the listeners, what we've decided to do with this is we've split it down into 5 basic subjects or 5 basic topics that we're going to discuss one by one. And the first topic on the list is finances. So, Sean, I'm going to give you a chance to firstly talk about the finances and how you see the owners conducting themselves.
Well, they've done exactly what they said that they were going to do from the very start, which was expand the brand. This used to have a corner shop mentality, and they have done what other owners haven't done, which was go commercially worldwide. So that's what they've done. And really what I've seen them do is just beefing up their investment. There's quite a lot of telltale signs with regards to the finances, especially with the financial report. A lot of people haven't been bringing up the fact that the so-called interest-free loan for the main stand is a 1.24% interest loan. Now, that may not be much, but if they're lying about that, what else are they lying about? Also, I would have reservations, and I'd be a little bit skeptical as to why they have over 500 administrative staff, as opposed to, Arsenal have about 360. But the finances, they're just beefing up their investment. There's no surprises there really.
Just regarding the 1.24% loan interest that you spoke of,
yeah,
that seriously couldn't be seen as much of an issue, though, to be fair. I mean, any loan from anywhere is going to have that type of administrative cost to it. There's no such thing as a free lunch, really.
It's not just that, mate. In the business world, that's a normal thing. The 1.24% actually covers interest. Covers inflation, which is what the loan is. I don't know how long the loan is, probably 10 years, but 1.24% would be the amount to cover the inflation over that time. It's actually an interest neutral loan when on the books.
Matt, you've come in there, so let's hear your thoughts on the financial side of things, since you've come in on it.
Yeah, it's the one point where they are absolutely superb. Like, you cannot knock what they did. They came over, and I think people forget how bad our fucking owners were. Hicks and Gillette, we were days away from administration. Like, I mean, we had debts of 350 million. KPMG was circling. They had us on their list. They were circling, ready to come in. It was only because the Royal Bank of Scotland, who were our biggest debtors, allowed FSG to buy them because they knew we were going to go bust and they wouldn't get all their money back. They came in, took over for what, 300 mil? We're now worth over $1 billion. We've got hundreds of sponsors all over the world. Dunkin' Donuts, Cars, Bet Victor, Carlsberg, you name it. You want a fucking condom, we can get an LFC sponsored, Johnny. Like, they've got effing, mate.
You can't get a decent fucking sausage roll, to be fair.
Yeah, but you can't have it all.
Hey, don't mock them.
A man wants his fucking sausage roll, Gav. Come on.
My old company is the people who made the pie machines that kept them warm. So don't be knocking me sausage rolls, lad.
No, I know where it's
coming
from.
As soon as FSG came in, they paid off the debts, which were high. We were paying out about £30 million a year interest. It's down to about 2-3, which for a football club is fucking unbelievable. You look at United, they're paying out fucking 60 million a year, and we're nowhere near that. Our problem was we weren't made into a business early enough. You look back to, we're 20 years later on what we should have done. You look back to United in the 90s, and their owners realised that this is a brand. Everyone loves the Premiership. Fucking China, Australia, everyone does. And they recognise that and they jumped on it. The problem is we've been too fucking hearty on it all. Oh, it's Liverpool Football Club. It's a fans thing. What do you want to be? Do you want to be an Everton, the People's Club? Or do you want to be United, which is ruling the world? You've got to see it as a business in order to perform on the pitch, in order to give us the resources to perform on the pitch. If you just say it like, oh, I don't know, it's a tough one. I know what people want. They still want the identity of Liverpool Football Club, but you can't have that and go on to achieve what people want us to achieve. We are a business. That's be all and end all. We are a business, and it's about time we are now treated as one, and that will help us on the pitch.
But a business model, right? If you don't mind me, I'm coming in.
No, I was coming to you next, mate. Go ahead.
Go on.
No. A business model doesn't win trophies. Arsenal has the business model, and other clubs have the business model, and they don't come close to winning trophies.
Who won the FA Cup?
Yeah, that's Arsenal won the FA Cup. I'm talking about, like, we haven't won the league for 27, 28 years. I'm talking about big honours. That's what Liverpool's about. Liverpool's not about winning the odd FA Cup or League Cup here or there. All right, my father, who was going to Anfield every week back in the 80s and 70s, yeah, he was brought up on winning. That's the Liverpool way. Wait, let me finish. That's the Liverpool way. So
no, I'm just trying to say, let's keep this to the finances. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, yeah, of course. I'm going back to that. So when you're talking about a business model, to be honest with you, FSG haven't done too bad in making back the money that was in debt with. So they ain't done too bad, to be honest with you. All right. It's just because I do understand football clubs are a business at the end of the day. We got loads of fans around the world, and we need to generate our own money. And in our club, we have to generate our own money. Our owners ain't gonna put in loads of money into our club. And that's why I think loads of fans are starting to get upset with, because they look at the other clubs, so they look at the Cities and the Chelseas, but what they're not realising is that Liverpool's one of the traditional clubs, okay, where we make our own money. I don't know too much about the finances, all this loans and stuff, because I'm just a fan that just wants to see Liverpool win. So I don't really look into it too much. I just hear reports and just go for that, to be honest. So that's my take on the finances.
Just jumping back there, you mentioned that you can't be a business if you want to win trophies. Yep. United fans would disagree, mate. They have been run like a business for 25 years now, and they are the most successful club in that time period.
Because they pump the money back into the team.
Yeah, no, but my point is, mate, they've got the money to pump back in. They've got all these deals, all these sponsorship deals and worldwide fans and people buying shares left, right and centre. They've got all that from becoming a business. And we are getting there. FSG are taking us there. We're just late to the game. And there's two ways to go about it. There's do it that way, which kind of keeps the structure of the club how we like it. Because as you said, we are different to other clubs. I don't want to be a City, Chelsea. But to get there, it's got to be... we've got to make it ourselves, and the way to do that is get the business side right, which is what they're doing, and then that money can be used on the pitch, which we will now see, and this summer I think will be the first of that.
Sean, I'll come back to you in a second, mate. I will let you have a rebuttal on this, but I just want to see if Stefan's finished before I give Gav his chance to speak on the subject.
I appreciate your opinion. I understand your opinion to a T, but like what I was saying about the model and stuff is that you can make so much money, okay? But like what we're trying, like Man United, yeah, you're saying Man United is a big football club, but so is Liverpool. You know, we can go to Australia and sell at 100,000 easy. We can go to America, do the same thing. But the thing is, there's a difference how we're run. We're run different, yeah, to Man United. We're run to save money at the moment. We're not run to save. We're not run to make money and then put it into the team to make more money. That's the difference. We're just run to save money and to keep on making money. We're not run to get the money, put it in the team, and then the team, if we're successful, more money will come in the future. That's the thing with Man United. That's the thing with Real Madrid. They make their own money, they put it in the team, and the team keeps on either winning titles or winning Champions Leagues. But then there'll be more sponsors to reinvest into the team. So, but with us, we just make the money. We moneyball when it comes to transfers. We moneyball when it. But as soon as we want to sell players.
What do you mean by when you say we moneyball?
Okay, we just sit down there and like the Salah deal at the moment. We're just haggling over extra 7 million. Yeah, and it's a player we really need. It's Klopp's first target, but we're trying to save money. That's my point, and this is where people are getting frustrated because you can make money. I don't mind them making money, doing whatever they're doing because it needs to happen. But it's what happens with the money is that it doesn't get invested in the team properly, and then we can't make more money off of the team success. And that's how you become the Man United brand. That's how you become a Real Madrid brand. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Gav. I'll bring you in here now, mate. You haven't had a say in this yet.
Yeah, finances. A lot of people look at net spends. They look at not even net spends. You look at what did we spend. What did we spend compared to others? And it made me think. So I literally, I'm quite good with figures off the top of my head for certain things, but genuinely, some of the figures are very hard to remember. So I tried to look at what FSG inherited. Now I take Sean's point that they're 7 years. And a lot of people probably would look and say, look, it's been 7 years, can we not be winning this? Can we not be winning that? There's no problem with that. As a fan, you want to win every year. So 7 years does sound like an awful lot. So I looked at what they inherited when they moved in. Now listen, I'm not going to even give Hicks and Gillette 10 seconds of my fucking time. That's being perfectly honest with you, because they don't deserve it. I presume the lads that aren't FSG as big as fans would, happily tell me that Hicks and Gillette were 20 times worse, But what I looked at was Anfield itself. And I was trying to think the other day when the old Standing Cop went. And it went at the end of the 93 season, I think it was. Maybe the end of the 94 season, I think it was. So I looked up the last game. It was a home to Norwich City. I presume we all remember that one when Jeremy Goss scored the last goal in front of the Kop. And the attendance that day was just over 43,000, right? So then what I done was I looked up the stadium when these lads came in to take over the club. And the attendance or the capacity at Anfield in 2010, okay, was just over 45,000. So in 16 years, we improved Anfield by 2,500 seats. All right. Now, somebody mentioned Manchester United earlier. As much as I despise Manchester United, they went for it. They took a gamble. They went absolutely crazy on Old Trafford. They built it and built it and built it. Somewhere in around, it must be closing in on 80,000 now. So you imagine the amount of people extra they have. That's just financial, just match going. They called it the Theatre of Dreams. They copyrighted that. They sold stuff off that. They sold stuff off everything, similar to the way we're selling stuff off everything now. But they're about 25 years ahead of us. Actually, take the 7 years off, so we'll go about 18 years ahead of us. We were hours or days away from administration. There's no doubt that FSG, or I think they were called New England Sports Ventures at the time, would I be right in saying that? Yeah. There's no doubt that they looked at the club and thought, you know what, 300 million is a really good deal, because they're businessmen. If you're not a businessman and you're in charge of a football club, I'd be worried for that football club. But gradually, I think the finances have got better. I think around 2014, they actually came out of debt. So, and over the last 3 years, like, they did sell, you look at Suarez, they sold him, but they put a lot of money in on top of that, and it just went wrong. It went badly wrong on a stage where we should have been progressing and taking advantage of a really, really good season. And I'm just hoping that this summer, the way the finances are, that we can push on and not get it wrong this summer. And I have more confidence, especially with Jurgen Klopp there, to deal with signings and different things. So I'd be quite positive on the financial thing. Look, I'd love us all to be going out and saying, listen, go to Monaco and give there's 110 million. I have no issue with that. But you have to remember, all this money that we're getting from Sky, from BT, from Asia, whatever it is, everybody else is getting it. You know, so at the moment, you can say, oh, we've more money, yes, we do have more money, but everybody else has more money as well, inflating the market and stuff like that. But on finances overall, I think they've done a very good job in the first 4 years, I think, to settle the club down. And I think they kind of had like a cooling off period. I felt for maybe a year, 18 months, probably 2 years if you want to stretch it out. And I think financially, I think you're going to see a little bit of muscle shown now.
Thank you very much. Sean, I'll let you back in for a rebuttal, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised people keep on saying, well, we don't want to be like a Chelsea or a Man City. No, I mean, I despise those clubs and the fans with a passion, but they speculate to accumulate, and that's what football is about. You got to have two things in football. You got to want to spend the money, and you got to have ambition. These guys have absolutely no ambition. These guys but they have ambition to make the profit table. They went and had an open letter to the fans saying, we're not here to make profit. Bull crap. You know, people are making out that these are our saviors. They didn't all of a sudden see a siren saying, John W. Henry, please save us. And they didn't put on their cape and fly across the pond to save us. They saw a diamond in the rough. They knew that they were going to make money. Liverpool Football Club were on the cheap. They were never going to get an opportunity like this again. They know that they were going to make the money because we hadn't branched out commercially worldwide. They knew that they were going to make their money. If they had have made, I suppose, a few kind of changes within the 2 years of transfers and all of that and laid off a little bit there, I would have understood that. But we're talking 7 years later about Gillett and Hicks. Gillett and Hicks is the past. And we can't be using... That can't be the bar that we set for FSG. They have to be better than Gillett and Hicks. I'm better than Gillett and Hicks. You're better than Gillett and Hicks. Although they wanted the club to be successful. I firmly believe that. Now, I hate them. But I don't think these guys give a rat's ass about the football end of it. And that's why we're a commercial billboard. You know, Chevrolet, Dunkin' Donuts, Skype, you know.
Nivea.
Nivea, yeah, exactly. I mean, and fucking Nivea ads just are embarrassing. But I mean, it's just it's kind of whoring ourselves a bit, and yet we've nothing to show for it. I mean, we talk about a main stand.
Well, we'll get on to the stadium
We'll get
expansion. That's next up. We'll just keep it to finances at the minute, lads. So sorry, Sean, if you've got nothing else to say, keep going, mate.
No, okay.
Gavin or Matt or Stefan, is anybody else? Or Matt, sorry, you want to come back?
Yeah, just jumping in there. I don't quite get what you guys want from the financials. You're mentioning that they haven't branched out commercially worldwide, and you're naming sponsors as a bad thing. But them sponsors are the ones that give us money to allow us to buy the players that you guys want so much, and we all want. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of you're kind of contradicting yourself with the statement. I don't really understand it.
No, to be honest with you, as I said to you earlier, I don't think the finances situation ain't too bad. Like, I don't think it's too bad at all. Like, I got another problem with FSG. This take my problem with them. I got another problem with them. So that's what we're talking about, finances. So I just stated a couple of things with about the finances, but that's not a big problem with FSG.
Okay.
So, well, I'd have as many sponsors as I can, really. So,
of course, I totally agree with you.
I've no problem with the sponsors. I have a problem with them not doing. We're not a financial centre. We're a football club, and they tend to forget that. And I mean, we can have as many sponsors as we like. I don't really give a rat's ass how many sponsors we have, as long as it's generating money and as long as that's going to the football side of it. I couldn't care less about that. But right now, all I see is sponsorship, and nothing to show for it on the pitch.
But I think that's more down to mistakes, because you look at the six biggest signings we've ever had have all come under FSG. Like they splashed out with Carroll as soon as they got here. Suarez, we put 32 million up for Mane. Firmino's going to 34 million now because he's playing well. Lallana is 27 million. They're putting the cash in. It's just been the wrong buys.
How much have you sold to get that?
But that's just because we buy good players who get better. Like net spend, I think is bullshit. You got to look at the spend. We can't moan at them because we've got a good player who wants to go on to either a payday or Barcelona. I'd never hold it against someone for going to a Barcelona. I see. I get what the thing is. I get where you guys are coming from on the pitch, ish, with the financial things where we were and what they're doing now. I'm 100% against you.
I just wanted to come in there and state, when we're talking about net spend here, guys, it's a very, very tricky subject that I'm being perfectly honest, none of the five of us here understand properly. There's taxes, there's fees, there's VAT, there's agents' fees, there's super agents' fees sometimes. There's stuff that we all don't understand. So we got to be very careful when we talk about net spend. It's not as simple as buying a player for X amount, selling a player for X amount. We just have to be careful when we say net spend on both sides of this conversation, because it's something we've got to be careful of. Sorry, Stefan, you were coming back in there, mate.
I forgot. What was you saying before that? Sorry, I was to just pick up my train of thought. Sorry.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I was talking about we can't hold it against FSG that we sell. We're good at selling players. Like what do you want? Sell Suarez for 10 million.
No. What I'm saying is, it's that Suarez wanted to go. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? He wanted to go. It's not a problem. If he wants to go, you can go. My problem is that obviously there's going to be a segment to this, so I don't really want to talk too much.
Yeah, same, mate, same.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk too much because obviously it's all structured and what have you. But if we're buying play, we can't build a team when we're buying top players. We're buying the Sadio Mane's, but then we will sell somebody, and then we're light. And we have to, every season we're having to spend again, because we either buy someone we have to wait for 4 years and wants to go, or we have to sit down here and just to balance out the books, we have to sell somebody. And that's how it's been, because we have to have right now, what I've seen over 7 years is that we've never ever given someone that's come in the door, look, here's 150 grand. We always have to give them a low amount. I don't know what reason the low amount is, but the lower wages ain't getting top players. And what happens is, like, I play football. Okay, I was in the academy of West Ham. Yeah, and what happens is, when you're 20, like it's like Divock Origi, we got to give him 3 years or 4 years to hit the heights that we wanted to hit. So what then happens is, us fans get restless with him, and then we have to constantly buy new players to get to form a squad. But it's evident some of these players are not ready to play for Liverpool. It's like when I came out of Anfield against Southampton away, and I went on the Redmond TV just to speak my opinion. Yeah, it's like these players are not ready for this level, for this type of experience game. You need to be experienced. You need to play certain games to deal with the pressure of being at Liverpool. You can't just come to Liverpool and think, oh, he was good at Hull, so there he's going to play. The pressure at Liverpool is totally different to other clubs. And I think certain fans have lost the hunger of winning. I think certain fans is just like, it's okay to sit down here and come to Liverpool and see us as a stepping stone. I don't want to be a stepping stone. That's what I'm saying. It's been 27 years of stepping stones. Why can't Suarez sit down and say, look, that's my destination. This is Liverpool Football Club here. They're ambitious. No, he wants to go to Barcelona because they're going to sit down and they have a better chance of winning the Champions League. They have a better chance of fulfilling his ambitions. But we're okay with just going to Hull and say to Hull, you know what, let's get a Robinson. But, that's another segment, so I don't really want to talk too much into that. But yeah.
Wants to come in there, mate?
No, we'll get on to Suarez later.
Yeah.
Suarez didn't go to Barcelona because of their ambition or his ambition or, or a lack of ambition. That's
again,
just
we'll
just
get
not
on
true.
To transfer policy later on.
But no, just finishing up on the financial thing. I know. Look, don't get me wrong. I don't want to come across as someone who's just knocking people down, and I do get the whole 7-year thing. But I think if you look at it year by year, and as well as that, there's a lot of trust involved, and I'm not too sure they trusted. Well, they definitely didn't. They got rid of Hodgson as quick as they could. They gave Dalglish a chance and wasn't too sure after they gave him a decent amount of money. They went with Rodgers. He done really well. They gave him a lot of money, and barring probably the Suarez sale, it's a big summer to spend, and it just didn't work out for Rodgers. And they've been trying to get Klopp. It's well known that they've been trying to get Klopp on a couple of occasions, and I think they've got him. And I think they trust him, and I think that's going to show financially. I'm still not sure we're able to compete with the Chelseas and the Man Cities simply because that money is just, listen, them clubs are wear a tie to their owners. They have to kind of reel it back in now, and they have to make it self-sufficient, or they will get sanctions. And the only sanction they're worried about is points deductions and being kicked out of Europe. They don't care about money. The financial sort of fines for these people doesn't matter. But overall, I think we're going in the right direction. And I think you've probably steadily seen that in money spent, and you will see it in the future.
Okay, lads, I think we've done enough discussion on finances, so I'd like to move on to the next topic on the agenda, and that's stadium expansion. And who'd like to come in first on this? Sean, go ahead, mate.
I'll say my bit. I mean, I think personally, under FSG, we've become more accountants than anything else. But going back to the stadium, the main stand, everyone is wetting their knickers over this main stand. And
rightly so, surely. Come on, any type of a fan, it's an improvement on what we had.
It's an improvement.
It's needed.
Of course it's needed, but I mean now they're looking at not expanding Anfield Road because of the tickets, because of the ticket prices, and to me, they need to either go big or go home. They need to expand Anfield, and obviously that'll generate gate receipts and it'll put us up where we should be, competing with the likes of Chelsea, competing with the likes of City, competing with the likes with United. And if they're just going to stick with the main stand, that's half-assed as far as I'm concerned. It's half-assed. I mean, we need to I mean, I didn't want us to move from Anfield, but if we couldn't expand any further, we had no other choice. And I think, if we don't expand any further, we'll be looking at building a new stadium eventually, I think. So I don't think anything is anything that FSG do with regards to finances or regards to this stadium is not long term. Want their money quick, and that's why they're kind of stalling on Anfield Road, because they're not going to get the money as quick.
Yeah, I think the argument that was going around about Anfield Road seems to be that with the main stand they were able to take in corporate money and repay the stand a lot quicker, whereas the argument with the Anfield Road end is that there's no corporate section there, so it's just going to have to be mainly season tickets, and that it might take 10, 12, 15 years to pay back the money. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, corporate seats, I mean, it's all well and good, but I mean, people have been kind of giving out about the atmosphere at Anfield. You're not going to get, much atmosphere from corporate seats, in my opinion. I think we have to look at the season ticket holder queue, and know that we can put bottoms on seats, as long as we put the seats there. I think they've been really, really half-assed, excuse the pun, with regards to the stadium expansion. And I think they already made up their mind even before they put a foot in Anfield that they were going to, put a few corporate seats and that was it. They were going to do a Fenway Park, and it's not good enough.
Gav, you were hand up there first. Come in. You're not going to share them polos, by the way, no?
Oh, yeah, but to fling them at the screen, I would, and if they could land right at you, I would. I've already told you about the stadium expansion between basically the start of the Premier League and the time that they took over, which was negligence over that time. That's being perfectly honest with you. Other clubs expanded. Arsenal eventually copped on and took their medicine and couldn't do anything with Highbury, so went to the Emirates, improving. It might have been around 22,000 extra seats in their ground. Even the likes of Newcastle went and spent money and made St James's Park. It was up around, I think it's a 51,000. I'm sure someone can correct me when they hear this.
Yeah, no, but I think it's 51.
Yeah, but it was negligence by the club. From as soon as the Taylor report told people that it had to be all standing from the start of the 94 season, Liverpool should have looked at this and went out and done everything in their power to upgrade the stadium in a time when it was probably ripe for upgrading. They could have put the money in and they would have seen the fruits of their labour, like other clubs have, and like other clubs did later on, like the likes of Arsenal and stuff. With regards to staying at Anfield, it's one thing I actually give them a lot of credit for, because they listen to the fans on that. As I said, I don't really want to go into Hicks and Gillette too much, but Jesus, they must have dug a whole field, the amount of fucking sods they were turning for new grounds. And they were sending out different designs every couple of weeks. Like, I think one of their kids was a graphic designer or something, because I'm fucking bored out of her head, because she was putting out more designs every week of all these new stands. They told lies, them two. They told complete lies and took the club for a ride, especially on the stadium issue. When anything went bad, if you go back and look at it, when anything went bad, you'll see them throwing out another thing about the stadium. I was happy with FSG that they stayed at Anfield. Leaving Anfield wasn't an option for me. They put an 8,500 extra seats into that stand. There's not a hope in hell 8,500 of them are corporate seats, so there's more Liverpool fans at games. With regards to the Anfield Road end, one other thing. I remember Rick Parry tried to do a deal with, was it DIC?
Yeah. Dubai Investment Capital, yeah.
Okay. And if you want to see a mess, that's a mess. There was talks of them ordering steel for new stadiums, paying for it, or paying for some of it, and then being told we're not taking over the club and being left with a bill. Now, you can put your own word on that. You can put your own word on it. With regards to the Anfield Road end, I do understand, and Ian Ayre did come out just before he left the club, I think, saying about it doesn't make financial sense. I think there's more to it than just corporate. I did read somewhere that if you have a ground over 60,000 in attendance, you need to have mega infrastructure around it. Anfield doesn't have that. You would need to run a train line within a certain distance, which is just mega money. So I think there's more to this Anfield Road expansion than just corporate seats.
Which goes back to my point about building a new stadium. If they don't have the infrastructure, then obviously then they have to look at a new stadium. I don't want us to move out of Anfield.
No way.
I don't want that.
No, I understand you don't, but you see, I have to remember, if they go in and they invest, how much did they spend on the new stand? Was 114 million. So if you decide, okay, look, we can't do it with the Anfield Road, and we're going to build in Stanley Park, you're then paying 5 times that, plus the infrastructure around it, because you're not moving any closer to train lines and you're not moving any closer to big infrastructure. And trust me, we didn't want to go down that road, because when Arsenal won that in 2005, was it 2005 or 6? They struggled, and they're still struggling because of it. So I think they made the right decision to try stay competitive, stay at Anfield that most of the fans want, and improve the ground no end with that main stand.
Matt?
Yeah, well, plans are in place, aren't they, to redevelop the whole area. I think we're even looking at a tram system into Liverpool, so they are looking at things for the future to build on what Gaz has said.
Yeah, they definitely need some sort of train line.
Yeah, well, that's what they're looking at.
Definitely need something along there. I remember listening to, it was actually a different podcast I was listening to when this came up on it.
But I'm just I'm a bit shocked. Like, the new stand, it's such a good thing. Like, I don't see any negatives in it. We're talking about how we need to make money, because we're not a City, we're not a Chelsea, we haven't got a rich earner. We need to make money to be able to let us spend it. Well, 3,500 new hospitality seats gives us a fucking load of money, about £1 million per game extra, which is what we need.
The best thing about the main stand is that Everton built a box in Goodison so they can't see us.
No, it's fucking lovely, isn't it?
They have got to move to the Bramley Apple Pie in the Sky Stadium as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, but they're bringing that boiler that they put into Goodison that is being taken with them, I believe.
Bitter bastards, aren't they, mate? No, but just back on what Sean said, find your statement a bit contradictory on the stand. Like, we need to build up that stand, and we need the corporate seats to give us the money to let us invest in the future. And no one wants to move away. Anfield is the heart and soul of this club. No one wants to move away.
I can't lie, lads.
Exactly.
I echo Matt. You can't, like, I'm from London, right? And, like, I don't know how it is from people from like live in Liverpool, right? But, like, you see, when I got to Liverpool, right, and be around Anfield, right, I have goosebumps. You know what I mean? It's like it's my second home. And if we left that, I don't know. There's got to be we got to do something. We can't leave Anfield. We got to do something. There's got to be something that we can do and not leave Anfield, because we just can't leave there. That's where all the history. That's where our heart is. It's our heart and soul. We can't leave there.
Have all you guys been to the old main stand and the new one?
Yeah. I've been going since '95 with my dad.
The new stand is fucking awesome. The old one, I was embarrassed. I was eating my chips, fucking crouched over underneath the fucking seats above me.
Let me just.
It was embarrassing, man.
So you wouldn't even buy a fucking sausage roll, see?
No. You know how it works. You know how it works. Them heels are all shit.
Right, the sausage roll goes in 2 minutes in the walk, and then you eat your chips. That's how it happens.
I like the main stand.
It's gorgeous inside, mate. It's perfect.
It's not even just outside.
I don't think anyone doesn't like it. I don't think Sean has come across as not liking the main stand. He just has issues with way things progress after that. And like, don't get me wrong. If they turned around tomorrow and said, "Listen, we bought fucking 25 acres behind the Anfield Road, and we're building something bigger than the Cop in there," and we'd all be happy. I just I know where Sean is coming from. I don't think he has a problem with the main stand. I just think it's the progress from there. And, you know, it's not a straightforward process, especially with a road so close behind houses, or buildings or lands that are owned by different people. But look, I know it's probably the wrong thing to say, but you have to wait and see on these things. You know, one comment from me in air saying it doesn't make business sense doesn't mean that it's dead.
I think it'll go ahead. they've done the plans already, and they've submitted them, and the council has accepted them. And we've got until August 2019 to start. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a spade in the ground at the end of that season.
Don't say that fucking phrase, for God's sake, Matt. Don't say that.
What's up,
you were building up to that for about an hour, you were.
No, mate. Honestly, but being serious, though, I reckon the end of 18-19 season, end of May, we will start building that.
We'll all go together and sit in the Anfield Road end.
All holding hands.
I'm not sitting in the Anfield Road end. It's like a fucking post box if you're sitting at the top of the Anfield Road end.
All of us paying for sausage rolls and Matt eating for free.
Matt doesn't go anywhere but corporate, for fuck's sake. Matt's never seen a sausage roll in his life.
Fucking sausage canapé.
Right, lads. Has anybody else got anything to add on stadium expansion before we move on?
No, I mean, I'm say with Anfield, as long as there's plans in place and it benefits the fans, it benefits the football club, that's all that matters to me. If we can stay in Anfield, then that's fine. I'm delighted with that. That's it.
I think nobody's mentioned this. Maybe Matt touched on it briefly, so I feel I should say something on it. The redevelopment that's happened around the stadium, the whole Anfield area, has been something special as well. Coming from Ireland, I get over a few times a year, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and every time I go over, I'm blown away by the new landscape that I'm seeing every time I'm there. There's new shops coming, there's a hotel popping up. It used to look like a really rundown, dangerous area, if we're being honest, and it's brightened up. It's becoming more lively, and I think we can all agree that that's surely a positive thing for the fans, if nothing else. Next on the agenda, guys, is transfer policy. I feel it's only right to let Stefan in on this one first, because I can hold him back on it.
To be honest with you, this is the major problem I have with them. I don't really have with the finances and the stadium. That can wait for me. But it's the transfers. It's the mentality they have of winning on the pitch. Is what I have a problem with. Okay, now, I gave them 3-4 years to get their book straight and what have you. I gave them time. Yeah, so they got the book straight, and in that time, we missed out on players. I can name about 20 straight off my head now that we missed out on, all because we're messing about on wages, we're messing about on fees. Now, to a degree, I understand that at the time, because again, we couldn't go out at the time. We didn't have enough sponsors, all of that. We couldn't go out and just start paying for players. The season that we was going for the league, and Gerard hurt my heart. Okay, God bless him. That was the season. That's when I thought to myself, you know what? I'm FSG out here, because this was the one season that we had to capitalize on. We had to build on. Okay, we came second, was very close to the league. Now, Suarez, he went. That's all well and good. Okay, but this goes back down to look at Raheem Sterling. Everyone upset. Everyone moans at Raheem Sterling, saying he's a rat and he's a snake and what have you. But he was one of the main players that season. Okay, yeah, he's asking for the money. He's asking for some money that someone like, I don't know, Daniel Sturridge would get. Someone that don't know, other players might get 100k. He was asking for at the time. Now, he played brilliantly that season. They don't reward him. Okay, that's all right. That's you could say that's okay because he's young. Okay, but then we go to try and sign these players. Okay, so we go. Was the Conor Palanca deal that same season? Yeah, that same season was going for the league in January. Okay.
Yeah, the Conor Palanca deal though. Just sorry, I won't interrupt you, but the Conor Palanca deal, trust me, wasn't down to Liverpool Football Club. The owner of his
but what I'm saying
club was a disaster.
Yeah, okay, but what I'm saying is that we're doing the same things then that we're doing now. Okay, we had 3 directors of football. Well, we have someone that does the deals. So we've had Comoli. Comoli's one of them that's come out and said the owners has come in saying they want young players. Yeah, buy to sell. Okay, Comoli's come out with that. Okay, Now he done things, couldn't get deals over the line. Okay. Then E&A comes in. All right. Whether it was whoever's fault it is these guys' jobs to get the deals over the lines for the managers. Whether you trust the manager or not, it's these guys' job to do it. Okay? All these managers do is give a list. That's the priority, that's the after, and that's before. Okay? They might alternate the list. Okay? We've had E&A after that. He couldn't get deals done. Okay? Last season, okay, we didn't want Mane. We didn't want Wijnaldum. The top targets was the Hood. Yeah, the top targets was Ousmane Dembele, the one that playing for France now. The Mane and Wijnaldum just turned out to be good players, but they were backups to what the manager wanted. Okay? Now, we go to Edwards now. Okay? And remember, these are three completely different people, yeah, but it's the same rules. Okay? 3 different people, same rules. The same with the managers. 4 different managers, same rules applies. Okay? We had Edwards go, and his money, he's going to Salah, he's going to Roma. I understand Roma might need the money, you might get a better deal. But listen, we need to be ruthless. We need to show a statement. We need to show that we're in this, yeah, to sit down and win trophies. Now, every Liverpool fan, yeah, is happy that Salah could possibly come to the club. Now, we all know Klopp's targets. Now, his first targets, well, that we heard, was Naby Keita, Virgil van Dijk, and Mohamed Salah. Okay? If that's his top targets, you have to go out and get them at any cost. That's my problem. That's his top. I don't, to be honest with you, I'm not saying unrealistic stuff and go out and get Neymar and go out and get Griezmann.
Just to cut across you there for 1 second. I feel like it's only fair to say that a lot of this is just subjective and none of us know who the targets are, really, who our targets are. Now, in regards to what you're saying there, United's top target was Griezmann. Did they get him?
No. Yeah, but no, all right, cool. They didn't get them, yeah? But it was Griezmann that turned them down. It was Griezmann that said, I didn't want to come. They said they put stuff in place for Griezmann to come. Pogba, yeah? The same thing with Pogba last season.
But what's the difference between Griezmann turning them down and Dembele turning us down?
No. What I'm saying is that we was in for him, okay? And when we was in for him, right, we was haggling. There's no haggling. It doesn't take a month to sit down and get deals on. It's been 3-4 weeks to get Salah over the line. And it's like this with every transfer. With every transfer we have, it's like this. And then we have all the Joyces, we have all the Pierces and that giving PR stunts. Like last week, the 3VD thing, it collapsed. And when it collapsed, I was enraged because I'm sitting there thinking, this is a top target that Klopp won. He went all the way out of his way to go and try to get this guy, okay? And we still can't even do it. He's chosen us, and we still can't even do it. Okay. Yeah, and then what the PR machine do? They sit down there because Liverpool fans are enraged.
Pierce, he was on holidays and he hasn't been.
No, bless him. Not James Pierce, but
picked a great week, didn't he?
What PR machine do? They go to Mbappe. They say, Liverpool's interested in Mbappe. Now, come on, you telling me all of a sudden, if you want Mbappe, you don't all of a sudden want him. You would have wanted him from March, from April, from May. Why all of a sudden do you want Mbappe?
Well, maybe they do. Maybe that's just the first time we've heard of it. And it could even be Mbappe's agents leaking it to start bidding.
Come on. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, lads, right?
If we're being honest, I know for an absolute fact, that Jurgen Klopp's been tracking Mbappe for about 18 months.
That's cool. But what I'm saying is that it's a PR stunt. Everyone's going to get happy. But the real targets, that he was his first target is Salah and Virgil van Dijk and Keita, yeah? Where's the £200 million war chest? Why, if we got that type of money that you told us, don't tell us lies because we're not stupid. Don't sit down and say we've got 200 million war chest and you're haggling for £7 million over Salah. That's where my problem is.
The club never said they had a 200 million euro or pound war chest. They never. Trust me, if a Premier League club comes out tomorrow and tells you how much money they have to spend, they should close the doors and turn off the lights on the way out. It's as simple as that. With regards to Raheem Sterling didn't have a great season that season, and that's a fact. Raheem Sterling played an away game in that season away to Hull. It may have been about roughly halfway through the season. And I can tell you, I listened to about 5 podcasts after that game. And if there was 15 contributors on them 3 podcasts, I would say about 12 of them either wanted him sent out on loan or just got rid of. He didn't have a good season. He had a good 4 months of that season. Dembele.
Pressure on him, though.
Say?
There's a lot of pressure. I mean,
Look, there was pressure on him, and he dealt with it brilliantly for 4 months of the season. He was outstanding. When you looked at Liverpool's team in that season, all you wanted was Coutinho, Sterling, Sturridge, and Suarez on the pitch, and you just thought, well, we just send them 4 out because no one can deal with them anyway. He was outstanding. He was. Liverpool messed up on the contract slightly.
They were very public.
But they probably could have offered him something earlier. Not the sort of money he was looking for the following year, but they could have looked for something somewhere in between. But then he changed his agent and he's on the BBC and he's on, I don't know, he was sitting beside Philip Schofield or something at one stage telling everyone how bad a time he was having. But he got to sit beside Holly Willoughby, so it was a bonus. But with regards to Dembele, the Dembele thing, we never got to make an offer for Dembele because Klopp went after him, met him the whole lot. That lad had his heart set on Dortmund and there was nothing we could do about it. Virgil van Dijk, we've all talked it to death. At the end of the day, we've had the conversations with Van Dijk. If you can believe trusted kind of sources, we did have, that deal was going along as normal. It was going along perfectly and some idiot within the club decided to open their mouth. The way we done business as a top target was fine until somebody opened their mouth. And if you hadn't opened their mouth, it was. Because I'll tell you why.
Because the rules state.
Gav, let him get across, Gav. Hang on, go on.
No,
Stefan, sorry, go on, mate. Go ahead.
Sorry. The rules state, that no manager, is allowed to talk to, a player without a permission. Okay? Now, that's what Southampton's upset about. Yeah? We're looking at the problem. We're looking at someone's leaked it. Yeah? Which is Liverpool's problem.
No.
Because we always PR stuff. We're always bringing out stuff that we shouldn't be bringing out. But the problem is, someone said their vice club to not call him.
No, Liverpool didn't come out with the statement that he wants to join Liverpool. They did not come out with that statement.
What's Paul Joyce?
What happened was, listen.
Paul Joyce doesn't work for Liverpool.
Paul Joyce speaks for the paper that he writes for. Okay? He does not speak for Liverpool FC. Look, Southampton were well aware that Klopp had spoken to him. Guardiola has supposedly spoken to him. Arsene Wenger has supposedly spoken to him. United haven't. If that leak didn't come from Liverpool Football Club, from some idiot saying, "Oh, he's chosen us," and I'll tell you how it came from an idiot, because people on Twitter, okay, that look, we all support football, but we don't know the ins and outs of football clubs. Somebody on Twitter was able to break that, and that's how you know it came from an idiot within the club. But getting back to the Mbappe thing, it makes me laugh a little bit. If we are in for him, we're delusional. If we're not in for him, we're not ambitious. So I'm not even going near him. But the transfer policy itself, you're right, it has changed. It has changed under I think you said 3 different kind of people. They couldn't get deals done. It may be for a variety of reasons. When I think of transfer policy, I don't think of who's trying to do the deals. I just think of, who are we trying to get? Have we got them? As I said at the start of this, we've messed up. We have messed up on transfers. Every club does, but we've messed up. And there's no getting away from that. And when you look at it, when you look at the way we go about transfers, sometimes, like, I understand your frustration with the Salah thing, because that broke. The money seems fairly reasonable. And I'd probably edge on agreeing with you on that one. That's being honest with you. The money seems reasonable, and I think it's a case of going out and signing him if he's a top target. I do agree with you on that one.
Lads, I'm going to have to push along and give Sean and Matt some time on this. So, Sean, I feel it's only fair to come across to yourself first.
Our transfer policy under FSG has been fucking shocking. Absolutely shocking. We've had more leaks than whores knickers with regards to contracts of players, of existing players. and that's leaking from the club. There's plenty of PR and a PR machine behind FSG, and now it's gotten to the point where the fans are the PR machine for FSG. We're all making excuses as to why deals aren't done. They have always had Moneyball, and Moneyball has been hidden behind financial fair play. The financial fair play rules have been relaxed slightly. We're the 9th richest club in the world, and we are shopping in Poundland. We get rid of Suarez, and we
get Ricky Lambert.
We get Ricky Lambert, who is fatter than me, and even on FIFA. And maybe I shouldn't be slagging him because I do give him a hard time, but we don't have enough ambition with regards to transfers. We're
not ruthless.
Non-stop with it. We're a football club. We should all realise that we're a football club. And, you know, FSG aren't just the problem. It's also the media. It's also the fans as well. We're all accepting this. We're all making, you know, excuses, or we're all coming up with valid reasons. We're saying net spend is ridiculous. We should debunk that whole theory. We're the only fan base that talk about transfers and talk about the whole setup of transfers in so much depth than any other club out there. Man City, Chelsea, Southampton, Everton, they get their deals done. They get their deals done. We are constantly.
To be fair, every club misses out on players now. Just to be
but not as much as us. Not as much as us. We missed out on like 30
Stefan,
plus.
Stefan, just got to cut across and give you and Gav time. So
yeah,
Sean,
that's true. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
It's you know, like myself and Stefan are you know, singing off the same hymn sheet because we've seen it, and you know, it's not that we're naive and we know that there are other things going on, but that none of us have a clue about. But we're all not stupid. We got to look at this and we got to say, well, right, where does the football come into this? We're looking at a business. We're saying, well, okay, you know, we can't do this because of this. We keep on going on about Gillette and Hicks. And it just pisses me off because that seems to be the you know, the bar that we set. You got to be better than Gillette and Hicks, and you're A-OK. And like we're talking about the transfer policy. You bring in the Milky Bar kid, the laptop guru, Mike Edwards. And you promote him to sporting director. He did absolutely nothing. He was part of the worst transfer committee in the history of that football club, in the history of football total. He was horrific between the scouts, between himself, between Gordon. Absolutely horrific. We've had Comoli come out and basically open up a can of worms on FSG and their policies. We've had Brendan Rodgers open up a can of worms there in the interview there in Goals on Sunday, and we all ignore it because it's too hard for us to hear. You know, we don't want to believe that is true. We just put that down to, well, they must be bitter, you know, past employees, and it's just this committee, this policy. No matter what way you shape it or form it, it's the same policy. It's Moneyball. You look at what they did at San Diego Padres in the fire sale in '93. Nobody looks at that because it's baseball. But Tom Warner, they did everything that they did with Liverpool Football Club. They did there. And I think people need to wake up. I think we need to be a football team. We're going on about our past and our past accolades and all of that. Our past accolades aren't going to be shit when we have United surpassing them, and then we'll have City. We won't be able to go five times anymore. I am sick to the ass of looking at reruns of Istanbul. I celebrated Istanbul that night. I'm not celebrating it now. We've nothing. We go on about Chelsea not having a history. All we have got is our history, and it's soothing the cracks of this transfer policy and transfer and low balling and low wage, and it's bullshit. And with the finances and the money that we're bringing in from all these commercial and sponsorship deals, and we're being the 9th richest club in the world, we need to stop. We need to speculate to accumulate. We're a football, so we need to sort our shit out, or they need to get the fuck out.
Is it fair to say you spoke about the Padres and what they did there and the trouble that they got into there? Is it not fair then to say that they went to the Red Sox, they broke the curse of the Bambino, and brought the Red Sox the first World Series in I don't know how many years, 30, 27, something like that? Surely you've got to give them some credit on that side of things. If we're willing to criticise them on the others, which I'm accepting fully, you then have to surely give them the credit for what they did there.
Yeah, but that's not my club.
But it doesn't matter if you're bringing it up as a point. If you're raising other clubs as a point, you have to be fair and you have to look at this from both sides. And this is Sean's point, Stefan.
Yeah, sorry.
230 something million on a baseball player. So I don't really care what they do with the Red Sox. Fair enough, they've won stuff with the Red Sox. I don't care about the Red Sox. I care about Liverpool Football Club. And I get the bullshit, on Twitter and Facebook and all of that. Oh, you're not a real fan. You want a sugar daddy. We were talking about the Liverpool way, the Liverpool ethos, that no player is bigger than Liverpool Football Club. Well, how has that worked for us in the last 27 years? We're now looking at the last 7 years, and we're now talking about, well, okay, we're building for the future. But how do you build for the future when you have this policy? Buy them young with the intention of getting a better resale value. That's not buying for the future. That's making a profit out of buying them cheap and selling them for more. That's what it is.
Okay, thank you very much. Matt, would you like to come in?
Yeah. So, as you said, Sean, look at the last 7 years. If we do go back to the start of that, let's look at what they did. Right, they came in Hodgson, and they fucked them off pretty quick, which was great. So they tried to get the structure in place, which they were advised was the right way to go about it. Director of football and the manager. So they got Kenny in. One was nice. One was a little trophy, but Kenny wasn't one for the future. Kenny was one for stabilising the ship, which FSG were doing at the time anyway. So he was a great appointment. Fans love him. He was always going to be a quick hit, but he was never, ever the future. The game had moved on, and he wasn't there. He wasn't up to it. And he'll probably tell you that himself. Same time, they brought in Kamoli. Now, you look at Kamoli, okay, what they were trying to do with him, bring in the sporting director. He'd worked over clubs before. He'd had a 50-50 track record on players, which is generally the standard on players anyway. 50% of what you buy is a hit, 50% of what you buy a miss. And that's a fact. I think it was Thompson Times who looked at tens of thousands of transfers.
Paul Tompkins went
that's the one, mate. So you look at Kamoli, all right, he had Suarez and he had Carroll. He had a hit and a miss. He had a few others, but he wasn't right with the club. That's not what they wanted. And Michael Edwards, was Kamoli in when Rodgers was there?
No.
So, Michael Edwards came along with Kamoli from Tottenham. Now, people write him off as a laptop guru, but I don't really understand why that's such a bad thing. Every single fucking one of us works with a laptop in work. He's got a degree in informatics. He's got a degree in business. He's been in football 14 years, head of analytics at Tottenham. He joined with Kamoli, and by all means, he is a very, very intelligent man. Now, I know someone who, very close friend of mine who actually works with him, and he said he's one of the smartest men and knowledgeable about players around the world than you will ever find. And we know that because Klopp absolutely loves him as well. And that's a fact I've not argued with either. So Kamoli goes because he wasn't fit for the structure, and Rodgers comes in. Now, they still wanted that structure, but Rodgers had this plan, and he was a good talker, and he talked them around wrongly. I think they should have stuck to their guns. Like I'd like to say on the player things, this is where FSG have been their shittest. But I don't think it's lack of ambition. I reckon it's more just the mistakes they've actually made. So they bring Rodgers in, and they wanted to introduce this structure to Rodgers, but he had such a good season with the one where we won the league that they kind of had to bow down to his demands and give him what he wanted. And Suarez went. And then players that he brought in, Lallana, Lambert, Lovren, a load of them players, they weren't Edwards spies. That wasn't who Edwards wanted. And you can tell that because when Rodgers went, Edwards was given that little promotion. And you could tell he said, these won't get you where you want to be. And he was right. And he was fucking right. But you look at the people he did buy. He bought Coutinho for 8 million. He bought Studge for 12 million. Look at them two players. They almost won us the fucking league. How can anyone sit there and question his ability? Yeah, he's made mistakes, do all that, but how can you question him when he buys players like that? Just because he's got a laptop and a couple of journos have seen an easy target and they think, oh, we'll write someone about his air-conditioned rooms and his fucking sitting there in his office. That's what people do. You look at Leicester. They've got one of the biggest analytics teams in the whole league. No wonder they bought all these players for cheap and no one heard of and went on to win the league. It's what happens. We need to move for the times. But you look at it now, and Edwards and Klopp sitting together, and now there's no friction. You don't hear anything about this committee. You don't hear anything about a Klopp buy, an Edwards buy. It's all together because they agree. Klopp likes the players he's putting forward. And you look at last season, the thing that we're doing, you're talking about Manny being our second choice. Sound? Fuck it, at least we've got a second choice these days. We went from Alexis Sanchez to Ricky Lambert and Balotelli. But now we've got a manager who trusts our scouting team and he trusts Michael Edwards, and they are working together. And another way you could tell that they were quite similar on players is when Edwards was here and we were linked with players like Mkhitaryan and that, it was the exact same players that Dortmund were going after and Dortmund were buying. Dembele, people like that. They've been monitoring them. Liverpool and Dortmund are very similar. Zorc and Edwards are very similar in who we go for. Dortmund have got a bit more of a pull than us, but we'll get there. We will. And we're talking about people losing their shit over Salah and Van Dijk. It's not even the 1st of July yet. Like, we're not even open. But I reckon we'll still get both of them. We may have to play a little bit more, but I still hope we'll get them both. But
Matt, just to cut across,
window.
Sorry, Matt, just to come across there and be fair, because I pulled Sean up on a couple of things as well.
Go on.
We do have to say openly there have been mistakes in the transfer market. Like, whatever way we look at it, as you said yourself, this has probably been their weakest position.
Absolutely. But I mean, I'm not defending their mistakes. They've made mistakes and they need fucking pulling on it. And I'll be the first to say it as well. But I don't think their mistakes is a lack of ambition. I think it's a genuine mistake. They thought one thing, they went with it like Kamoli, and it didn't work out. You can't blame them for trying something, and it didn't work out. They are still learning on the job, and this is their worst part. And just going back to something, I can't remember if it was which one of you guys said it, but paying up for Salah and Van Dijk. But if we just pay the money and get them, there's 35 mil out of our kitty. That's the difference. 35 million.
I can't keep a straight face.
Dick Van Dyke. Yeah. It's 35 mil out of our fucking kitty. That's another player, maybe two. We can't just be playing up. I don't mind negotiating. It's what businesses do every day. And we are a business. I know you'll hate it, guys. I know you will. But we are a business. And if we can save 35 mil by not jumping in head first into a transfer, then fucking I'm happy with that because there's someone else we can buy.
Sean, do you want to come back in?
Oh, there's so much to. I'm losing more hair the more I hear about this. I think we're making just too many excuses for these guys. I think it's a lot easier for us to list on the few transfers that we brought, or the few players that have been a success, than it is to list off all of those who have been an absolute flop. There's been more flops than there's been hits. And the transfer policy hasn't changed. It's the same policy, and it will always be the same policy. We have fall guys at that club. We had Hodgson's. Hodgson's was crap. We had Kenny. We had Kamoli. We had Rodgers. We blamed Rodgers because he was young. He was inexperienced. He couldn't bring the players into the club. He didn't have the draw and whatever. Then we have Klopp. And now we're saying, oh, well, that's the Dortmund way. He doesn't believe in spending that. So we're constantly coming up with excuses for not spending. We're in the Premier League. If you want to compete, you've got to spend. It's as simple as that. We're haggling over a couple of million. The same way as we were haggling over Clint Dempsey, which probably would have been an absolute flop anyway. But we're haggling. You're talking about, the players that we brought in. There's no mention of Balotelli. There's no mention of the fact that Rodgers said, I didn't want Balotelli, and yet we got him. There was no mention of the fact that he said it on Goals on Sunday that he didn't want Balotelli, and yet we got him. And we had to just say, look, just some club just bloody take him because he's an absolute diva. The transfer policy, we're not fooling people. We're not fooling each other. You look at the internet memes, and there's smoke without fire. They are constantly taking the piss out of Liverpool Football Club, and the only people that don't realise it is the vast majority of our fans. We're wearing rose-tinted glasses and thinking, well, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're not. We haven't. We won't. And until they cough up, if they do cough up this summer, I'll be the first to come on here or come on any podcast and say, I was wrong.
Same.
Let's give them a chance. I don't think we've given them a chance.
Point, though. I mean, if they do cough up, the lads are willing to hold their hands up on that point. So,
and vice versa. If they do shit this summer and they don't buy, not just if they don't buy Van Dijk and Salah, but if they don't buy the players that Klopp wants, then I'm getting to the end of the tether with them. But I can see all these things falling in line, and I'm quite rational about it. And you can see in the past where things have messed up. It all seems now it's in place and it's perfect for them. And I think they know it because the stadium's done and all these bits. That's okay. And now they are willing to spend, which is all right. They haven't told us the war chest, but it's all the rumours that we've got money, and I think they will back him.
What are you basing that on?
It's not. Sorry, go ahead.
Which bit, mate?
All of it. I mean, you're saying that they will do this, they will do that.
No, I didn't. I'm saying it's pointing towards that. If they don't, then a lot of people have said, then this is their big summer. This is their big summer. But it's all the things and everything is pointing in the right direction. All right, they are playing hardball over Salah. It's what they've always fucking done. We know they're going to do it.
But sorry, Matt. With regards to Salah, like we discussed this earlier, and they are playing a bit of hardball. I don't agree with it. I think if the fee is 40 million and there's players out there being rumoured at 50, 60 million, I think he's worth 40 million and they should pay it. But the reason they're doing it is quite simple, and it's because they know Roma need the money and they need it by the end of the month. They have to sell somebody by the end of the month.
Yeah, but what if someone comes in? But what if Borussia Dortmund comes in and takes him?
Yeah, no, look, I'm not arguing with that. But I think Liverpool are probably in a position where they know from the players' representative that, they're in pole position and they're trying to argue. I'm not defending the fact that they're playing hardball in this. I think they should pay it. But I'm just telling you the reason why they're paying it or why they're doing this.
I understand that.
No, like
I'm the same, mate.
I gotta say, I'm conscious of time here as well, so I really got to be summing up on this topic before we push on. So, is there anyone a last point while they're making transfers before we push on?
Yeah. Sorry, just one point, and I'll let the two lads back in there. There has been excuses made. There's no doubt about that. And fingers pointed by fans, fingers pointed by people in the club at the owners pointing fingers at the people. It has happened. Look, if you're going to deny that, like, don't get up in the morning. Stay in bed. But two things kind of struck me when you were all speaking there about the process, the people, everything. One thing I would say about it is, I think both times, 2 occasions, I think FSG have given people below the top tier of this club complete trust in players and recruitment. I think they've been stung badly. Firstly, Comolli and Kenny Dalglish made a fucking mess of it. Let's be honest about it. Some of the players they got were just kind of atrocious. And the second time was the summer of 2014 when they let, probably twice actually. The summer of 2014, they let Rodgers go and spend the Suarez money, and he done it horrifically. And in the summer of 2015, they let him go and spend the money. They let him kind of have a free reign again, the likes of the Benteke signs and it didn't go well. They probably got stung a little bit by that, but coming back to it, yeah, there has been excuses made. There has been done things wrong, but I'd agree with Matt as well in the fact that the Champions League qualification, the manager we have in place, what he's looking to do, even having them targets, I think it is going in the right direction. But it is a huge summer for Liverpool Football Club. Not only, look, you can go out and spend 300 million and they could be fucking a disaster. What I'm saying is going out, picking who we need, getting them in, and I think it is a massive, massive summer for Liverpool Football Club.
Okay. Sean, Stefan, any quick points before we move on?
Sure, let me go.
I think we're still making excuses. And with all due respect to you guys, I think we're skimming over the details here. The players that Rodgers brought in. I think
it's fair to say we're skimming over the details. Everybody's had ample opportunity to give any point they want on this subject.
I don't mean that in disrespect. What I'm saying is with regards to Rodgers and the signings that he's made. The signings he made and has clearly stated on Goals on Sunday that if he wanted a player, if that player wasn't on the list and there was other players, he had to pick whatever was on that list. And that's been their policy, and that is still their policy in my opinion. I think if we don't do something this summer, and if FSG don't give in to the pressure, and if we don't put pressure on them, we're going to lose an awful lot more. We're going to lose Klopp. I don't think Klopp is going to take this lying down if he's constantly banging his head off a brick wall. That's what happened to Comolli. That's what happened to Kenny. That's what happened to Rodgers. And that's what we have seen. That's the pattern that we have seen over the last 7 years. You're talking about building for the future. If this was a building program, this would be an episode of Cowboy Builders, and I would be expecting to see that headed fella and Melinda Messenger coming up.
I don't think anybody said we're building for the future, though. To be fair, I don't remember that phrase being used by anybody during the show.
No, not you guys.
Not in your show, but that's been said, and I think it's fair to say that has been said throughout social media, throughout with the fan base. Do you not agree with that?
To be honest, what I'll say about the fan base is an awful lot of the fan base are ignorant and don't know what they're talking about. So, I'll be blunt and say that, and I'm not going to hide behind a microphone. People know who I am, where I am. That's my opinion on it. I've openly said I don't know everything on transfers, and I don't understand everything, but we're here to talk about the owners. So, I think all of us should just stay on the subject of the owners and not try and
I agree.
Go into conjecture. Stefan, just quickly.
Yeah.
Have you anything to say before we jump on?
Just a quick brief thing. All right. It's that like you guys were talking about business earlier. Okay. Saying that it's a business. Okay. But in a business here, and we all work. So I assume we all work. Okay. When you go to work here, you don't. It's because this is a job to people that work at Liverpool Football Club. So to people that play football, it's a job. Okay, people that own Liverpool Football Club, it's a job. Everything's a job at Liverpool Football Club, so it's a business. Okay, so when we go to work, right, do we do what we want to do? No, we got to follow rules. Okay, we all have to follow some sort of rules. Now, on Goals on Sunday, Brendan Rodgers came out and said FSG need to sort out what they want. Do they want to win trophies, or do they want to carry on? Yeah, doing what they're doing. Okay, I can go to YouTube, bring it up right now. Okay, and if people, it's just a fact that's what he said now.
But is it not fair again then to say, whilst Brendan Rodgers has criticised FSG and possibly fairly, is it not right to say that it could be a bit of sour grapes on his behalf as well?
No. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, wait.
Well, I'm not. It's just a point that both of you guys have made. So I'm trying to give both sides of an argument.
What I'm trying to say is now, obviously, and the initial thought is the initial thought was, you know what, it could be sour grapes, okay? But when it happens under 3-4 different managers, logic tells me there's 3-4 different people, not the same person. They're different managers, they're different directors of football, and the same things happen. Now, going back to what I was saying about the business, when you go to work, you work for somebody and you have to follow their rules. Yeah, that's why I don't get on Edwards. That's why I don't get on Ian Ayre. I used to hate Ian Ayre, but I understand, that he has to follow orders. FSG put the plan in place, and they have to follow it, and that's my problem. That's why I always go back to FSG is the problem. The other day I didn't go back to Edwards was the problem at all. I didn't cuss him at all. I didn't cuss with the Salah deal. I'm not saying Edwards, it's your fault. because he's just going to be a scapegoat. Because the same things that's happened under Edwards has happened under Air. Same things happened under Air. It's happened under Commodity. So it shows me it's 3 different people. They all can't lie. They follow the same plan because they're doing the same things that Aitken.
I think your point is a valid point, and I think again it does
that's
need
why
to be
I get
addressed. Some issues have followed on through different hierarchies in the club, and look, I'm gonna say there's been failings there as well, so I have to allow that point if I'm going to allow both sides. But lads, I really want to push on to the last subject before we sum up, and that's the day-to-day running of the club. I'll throw it open if anybody wants to come in on this first, just to be fair. Like, if anyone wants to put their hand up and go in, work away. Gav?
I presume, well, the day-to-day run of the club, like, it's very hard to gauge, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, we watch Liverpool, we look out for transfers, we look out for injury news, you know, press conferences before and after games, the match, you know, the day-to-day running of things, it is quite hard to gauge. The only issue I have on the day-to-day running of the club is the fact that we run a lot of stuff out of London. We have offices at Anfield, we have offices in Liverpool, but we do a lot of stuff out of London. Can't quite get my head around that. I don't know whether that's people that prefer to live in London while they're doing the business. They could be mates with Alexis Sanchez's mom, and she loves shopping down there, and the shops are great.
Funny thing is, I don't even think they're together anymore, Gav. Is that true, by the way? Does anyone know that? I don't even think they're together anymore. Alexis Sanchez
is the fella that runs Liverpool.
No,
I thought you meant the fella that runs Liverpool.
Definitely not
Alexis
together
Sanchez.
with the fella that runs Liverpool. 99% on that one.
No, but I'd have a bit of an issue there, you know. In my opinion, if you run a club in Liverpool, you base yourself in Liverpool. Now, don't get me wrong, the vast majority are in Liverpool. There could be a couple in an office down in London. But I wouldn't look. I'm not going to pretend to know a hell of a lot about the day-to-day running of the club, because I don't think any of us do. That's being perfectly honest with you. It's you'll see snippets coming out about different things, you know, charity work that they do or things they do for kids around the area. You'll see all that coming out because that's the job of LFC TV and things like that. But the day-to-day run of the club, I don't think you never really see anything pop up where it's a kind of, oh, this happened at Liverpool today, unless it's, you know, player or manager related.
All right, fair enough. Sean, do you want to come in on that?
I suppose repeat what Gav said. I mean, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors no more than you guys do. I only go on, I suppose, what the real experts go on, but from the way I'm looking at it, it's not run like a football club. It's run like just a business of making money. We look at the move from Melwood to the academy, which has been long overdue. There's been Houllier and managers like that have said that the academy and the training ground should be in the same area, but FSG brought that out as a big, massive PR stunt. And again, to me, it's quick money because when they sell the site that Melwood is on, they're going to make their money and they're going to make it quick. So from their point of view and how the club is run, it's working for them because, again, you can't debunk net spend. Net spend is pretty much in around the same amount of money that some of these commercial deals come in per year, but it's not run as a football club. It's more like a financial centre than a football club, and you have to have the perfect mix. And I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in the 7 years, and that's what's frustrating. Before Ian Eyre left, he was talking about, well, we didn't have the infrastructure, we didn't have the facilities to capitalise on success, and now we do. So, the pressure is really on now for FSG as a business or as owners of Liverpool Football Club, as custodians of Liverpool Football Club, to number one, take on board what the fans want. No one has mentioned the West Derby Society and their concerns about what happens with Melwood. But from a football point of view, or a football club point of view, FSG are in real pressure. The pressure is on them to cough up or get out on their yacht.
Okay, Matt, I'll come over to you before I go to Stefan.
Yeah, I don't really see any negative in bringing the academy to Melwood as it should be. It's what everyone's been saying has been needed. It's what they've been advised. They've listened and they've gone ahead of it. I don't really see the bad thing there. Talking about the net spend, I was just having a quick peek then. In the last 3 years, Chelsea have only had a net spend of more than 10 million. Well, they've had 2 years with a net spend of less than 2 million, less than 10 million, and they've won the league twice. Like, I don't think net spend is a good argument. I think we need to look at transfer totals. Because, I mean, what's it prove? All it proves is that we're good at selling players at the end of the day. The days they run the club, I think they are very good at interacting with the fans. You look at that with the Tony Barrett signing, whatever his role is now, head of communications or host, something like that.
Support or liaison.
Yeah.
Something like that.
God love him, by the way, Matt. He was off on holidays and he came
back. Right. Came back to an absolute shitstorm. No, I just think they do listen to the fans.
He'll be on Valium within about 3 weeks.
How do they listen to fans when they have Peter Moore, who's like literally blocked anyone that's anti-FSG on Twitter?
Has he?
I don't know how you can say that. Fans, they've blocked everybody who's anti-FSG. Surely they should listen to all fans.
I do need to say here from both sides, pro or anti.
Can I jump in?
I don't know the situation there, and I don't know if he has. If he has blocked a lot of FSG out people, you do have to ask how many of them were, and like any fan that's blocked, were abusive, vile, or didn't just stick to an argument like you're having here with us, a civilized conversation. So I don't know either way.
I said nothing to I've not made any reference to him whatsoever until I found out he blocked me.
Okay.
But to be fair enough. Maybe he has. But what I find, I mean, I'm not pointing fingers at you two here. I mean, you're nice lads. We're getting on well. But what I find is the way the FSG out on Twitter, people go around it. They go about it is the wrong way. You've got a fairly reasonable point to make. Like, people understand your points, and we understand that. I know when FSG aren't perfect, and I don't back them to the hills. I think I'm quite rational about it. But how I see quite a lot of FSG out people on Twitter is the throwing tweets around in full capitals. The tweeting Linda, which I don't agree with at all. I think that's disgusting because it's not going to get anywhere.
It's abysmal.
I don't understand what people are trying to get from that. She's not going to go in and tell John. So maybe
he's any fan, by the way, FSG out or not.
No. Listen. He's a part of a football club, okay? All right. Look, if I went in, my wife's sitting in the next room. If I went into my wife and went, Liverpool are haggling over 5 million for Salah, and I'm after texting John Henry's wife to have a go at her for going to the shop today, she'd just give me a smack around the head, and that'd be the end of it. But that's how stupid it is.
Yeah, but people, that's right. But what I'm saying, the other day, I got accused of abusing Linda, right? And I did not curse her. I didn't tell her she's a slag, anything like that. I just asked, because obviously, John Henry doesn't tweet. All I want to do is be heard. And all I asked was certain points, is that, again, like, I come from London, right? Okay? And, like, I put my heart into this club because I love the club, okay? I actually love the city, okay? The times I've just got there, just be in the city and not even go to Liverpool Football Club. I love the city. I love what the Liverpool Scouse people stand for, okay? And I love what the club stands for. And I got there all the time, okay? And I go to some away games, okay? And all I'm saying is that I pay my money, okay? We all pay our money to put it into this club, okay? And we're haggling over 5 to 7 million. And then I get accused of abusing because I'm FSG out. All I did was ask her questions, or put a little bit of humour into what I'm asking her. I've never gone up to her and say to her, you're a slag, you're this, that some people do, Okay, that's wrong.
Fair one, mate. But honest question: what do you think is going to come from that tweet? Like,
but the thing you got to understand. Yeah, what you got to understand is that loads of people are frustrated. Okay, now you're just seeing. What I'm saying, you're just seeing certain things now that what we're telling you. We've seen things like I've seen things for the last 3 years. Like Sean's seen things from before I've seen it. So we all see it at different times. Now, what I'm saying, people.
How do you mean? What do you mean by things, mate?
No, like I've seen what that they're not willing to put their heart into the team. Okay, I've seen it late. I've seen it in 2014. Sean might have seen it in 2013. Okay, yeah. Now you guys might just see after the transfer window. So you guys ain't as frustrated as other fans. We all see things at different points. We all have different opinions.
But
okay,
surely there's a productive way of doing things.
Of course, no. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is that those people that go to abuse her and call her a slag or call her a bitch, whatever they want to call her, that's wrong. Like that Moneyball guy went to go tweet her. He goes, all he asked was, how comes John Henry leaves you up for abuse? And everyone got onto him. All he asked was a question.
To be fair, we make a point of not bringing up accounts on there because we don't want to publicise good or bad anybody. Because
sorry, I didn't know.
That's no problem, mate. And your point is fine. Your point is valid. Go ahead.
Yeah. All I'm saying, like all other day, I got abused. I got people calling me bellend, you're a cunt, or this and that. I'm like, but you're abusing me, okay? All I've done was ask her questions. I'm allowed to ask her questions because she is obviously the one that we can get to because she tweets. All the others don't tweet. We can't get to nobody because we're frustrated. Okay?
John Henry tweeted what they've spoken at the Emirates. I just think
that's like 5 years ago.
She doesn't work for FSG. Like she doesn't work for FSG. She's got nothing to do with it. Like
I think Linda Pizzuti is not tweeting as the wife of Liverpool Football Club's owner. She's just tweeting as the person that she is, the same way me, you, and anyone else is. But
we're allowed to.
I'm not. No. You can, look, I've no problem with anyone asking anyone a question. I don't look if I don't see the point in asking her the question. That's my own opinion, but I'm not going to stop anyone from asking any question. But look, I'm going to stop because I know Sean wanted to say something, and he's been waiting patiently.
Same. Sorry.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being a bit impatient, but just going on what Matt said about the abuse online. And some of the FSG out brigade, as we're now called, there's quite a huge divide within the fan base, and the online behaviour of a lot of people should be questioned. The level of abuse that I've had over the last couple of years in doing what I've been doing is unbelievable, from death threats to getting into my personal life. And that's from people who are FSG in or FSG supporters and people that are FSG out. And it is criminal, the stuff that has been flung at me, criminal, the stuff that I've been, apparently accused of. It's unbelievable. I don't, as a man, believe that anybody should abuse anybody, whether it's a man or a woman. There are times that I feel sorry for Linda Peruzzi Henry. I felt sorry. There was obviously I won't mention the newspaper, but they had brought up that particular tweet that Linda responded to. I didn't see anything wrong with that tweet. Now, the tweets that I've got have been 10 times worse than that.
Same. I've got racially abused.
Absolutely horrific.
I mean, just to point out, none of us on here are condoning anybody being abused in any way, shape, or form.
I know that. But I know that, and that's, as I said, that's why I'm here.
You
that's
guys are cool
guys. I think that Liverpool or the PR are kind of using that. Well, you cannot question these people, and I think the reason why people are looking for answers from Linda is because Linda is very, very vocal on Twitter, and she's got the balls. I mean, and fair folks to her. I have no problem with Linda whatsoever, and I've no problem with any of them. I have an issue with the way they're running the club and the way I feel that they're strangling our bird. But that's it. I'm not going. I know that there was another article there about this Spaniard fella, and I don't know. He could have been in his teens or whatever, but he abused online Graham Kelly, Linda Prutti Henry, John W. Henry, and the stuff that he was saying was horrific and appalling. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't tweeted Linda Prutti Henry. I'm not saying that I have been maybe a little bit cheeky in some of my tweets. I haven't been, in my opinion, disrespectful. But I have basically called out the owners, and I have said, well, we want answers. And, you know, the reason why we're going to Linda, I mean, after the walkout in 77, it's well known that FSG completely shut down communication with Spirit of Shankly. That Jay McKenna said that in his AGM, and myself and Jay have a bit of a history there, but that's cool. But that's a fact. That's a fact. So, I mean, if you talk about they want to talk, their communication with the fans is brilliant. I don't think it is at all. I think it's all a PR stunt. I think this supporters liaison thing is a PR stunt. I think it ruffled a lot of people in the Echo because ever since then they've been kind of anti-FSG now, and it's unbelievable that the turnaround that they've done now. They're saying, well, you need to cough up. Now's the time to, and a lot more people now are jumping on board and saying, FSG, look, you've had 7 years, enough of the financial bullcrap and the scaremongering. Oh, we don't want to be a Portsmouth. Enough of the let's hope that we're going to be a Leicester. People are jumping on the bandwagon and saying, now, guys, you got to cough up. But I mean, I'm agreeing with you that the abuse online is just not on, and it's uncalled for. And I've been hugely affected by it, hugely.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to cut it there. I'm gonna give you all one last chance to maybe raise something that you haven't raised yet, or go back over a subject that we've already covered before we finish up, because I'm sure you've all remembered something you probably forgot to say, and I think it's only fair that we go back around. Seeing as Sean spoke last, I'll come to Gavin first to see what he has to say.
I really enjoyed that. It was really good. Thanks to Sean and Stefan for coming on. First of all, it was a really good conversation. I think overall, I hope overall that everyone here can kind of, stand by the points they've made, but also listen to the points that others have made. We only want the best for the club, regardless of what side of the argument you're on, or whether you're in the middle or left or centre, as Matt is for some weird reason. No, I really enjoyed it. I haven't got much more to say. I thought we covered a hell of a lot during that. Really enjoyed it, and maybe we'll do it again in a year's time and see where we are.
Brilliant, thank you, Gav. Stefan, do you want to come in now, mate?
Yeah, I just want to echo that it's been a great show. I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest with you. It's been nice talking to you guys and having seen other people's opinions, because obviously on Twitter people just talk and talk and talk, but sometimes you can't see people's opinions on Twitter. I've actually taken some opinions off of Matt and Gav and yourself. Obviously I talked to Sean quite a bit, so I know his opinions, and I just want to basically say like something away from FSG, like all the fans, that when I go Anfield, I just feel like we have to raise our mentality. We have to raise our mentality to a winning mentality, and to say, like, for example, trophies is all that matters, because as fans, as you guys, I know all of us have been supporting Liverpool for years, and like we've loved the times where we've won trophies and that, and I know we all want to get back to them days where we're just winning trophies. So, and the only way that happens is that everyone, I'm talking about the owners, the manager, the players and the fans, raise the expectation, because fourth is progress. It's not success to me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is progress, and it gets us to a point where we can get certain players. So now we have to kick on. We can't go underneath water. We can't drown again, because if we drown again, I fear if we lose Klopp, we're finished. It ain't going to stop me going to games, but that's all I really want to say to the fans. Let's just get our mentality up and we go to the games next season. And we put I put my heart into singing, and we all got to go to the games and put our hearts into singing and making it like a great experience for the players, and making them feel like they can win the league and making them feel like they can win trophies. You know what I mean? And that's all I really want from Liverpool fans. I want us to be united. We're a very special, strong fan base all over the world, and that's all I really want. And I also want to say thank you to you guys for having me on. It's been great, and thank you to Matt. Thank you to Gavin and yourself.
Yeah, my pleasure. Matt, do you want to go ahead, mate, and sum up?
Yeah. I reckon me and Sean could go all night discussing this. It was fucking cracking on. No, it's good. It's good to hear you. It's good to have you on, lads. Cheers for that. I just want to say, as you both did, we're both all on the same team here, and I think a lot of people agree with your points, lads. They just don't agree with how a lot of people go about them. That's our issues, I think. Well, not just our issues, because I only have a laugh on Twitter. I'm not really that arsed. But yeah, that's all it is. Don't take it personally. We're not disagreeing with what you're saying. It's just sometimes how it's gone about. And not saying you. That's everyone on Twitter, because we know what they're like. But yeah, no, it's great to have you on. I just say, just chill out and let's just see what happens this summer. Let's not. The window's not open yet. Let's not jump on the bandwagon, want them out. They're saying the right things. Let's just see if they pull through with it, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Okay.
And Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm delighted to be on the show and delighted to be invited. And thanks for having me and being civil. I've no problem with talking to anyone with both sides of the argument. We all want the best for Liverpool Football Club. We may have different views of how that happens or how that can be managed. And, I think that's where the difference of opinion is. But we should always hold on to and I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche and a bit whatever, but we should always hold on to the Liverpool way, the Shankly way. And I think that has been lost in some of the stuff that's going on. And, it's on both sides. It's the FSG in and it's the FSG out. I mean, there's groups there that want to compete with other groups and who's got the biggest dick and all this kind of stuff. And it's childish and it's silly. And, one thing that has kind of annoyed me over the last number of years is the kind of the differentiating from local to international fans. And I don't think, we should do that. I think we're all, if you're born in Liverpool or whether you're born in the back arse of wherever, in Kildare or whatever, in Ireland, I think, we're Liverpool fans. And, I live, breathe, sleep Liverpool. I have a clock that fucking wakes me up and sings "You'll Never Walk Alone" every fucking hour. So, I mean, I don't think I could be any more Liverpool if I wanted to. But again, it was fantastic to be on the show. Fantastic to have a chat, and I hope we can do this some other time, and maybe you come on my podcast as well.
Yeah, we can certainly arrange something there. Matt?
One thing quickly, Sean, can I just ask? Tell me one thing you like about FSG.
I'll be here.
Come on, mate. Tell me one thing you like. No negative. One thing you like.
Linda Pruzzi Henry.
Fuck off. That's a scapegoat answer.
It's an answer, to be fair, it's an answer.
Cop out. I'll have that, alright.
You know what, no matter what's said, you guys came on here. It takes balls to come on. You guys gave your opinion. Whether people disagree with them, agree with them, whatever it is, I thank you all for coming on, taking the time, coming on the show. Sean and Stefan, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm not going to lie and say I agree with a lot of what you said, but I certainly agree with your right to say it. Matt and Gav, as always, thanks very much. To the listeners, we hope you enjoyed the podcast. We hope you took some new opinions from it, or you listened to both sides of the debate. And we thank you for listening to us, and we'll be back very soon. Thank you very much.